Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. My name is Nicole. I'm a reporter here on the Garnet Report, and I'm so happy to be chatting with you right now.
Dude, me too. Thank you. So nice to meet you, Nicole. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So, for everyone just joining us, I am here with Benicio Bryant. How are you? How was your day?
Dude, I'm doing great. It's sunny out, like it's nice. I am from Seattle, so it's like always cold, but it's like so nice out and I like love warm weather, so I'm doing good.
Oh, amazing.
How about you though? How's your day going?
I'm doing good. Honestly, I wish I was in Seattle. I'm in Jersey right now, and it's freezing.
Oh, yeah, see, that's why I got out of Seattle because I can't do that weather.
Okay, so I'm here with Benicio Bryant, who just released his latest single, Pop Star, on October 29th. Congratulations, it's an amazing song.
Thank you.
Of
Thank you so much.
course. So can you walk me through the inspiration behind this track?
Yeah, so Popstar actually is kind of a funny story. Like I've had that idea for like years. Like it's been sitting in my notes app for years and I've, had this idea and it's kind of really just about like being in love with like this best version of yourself, like this, pop star that everybody like kind of has in themselves. And I think it's really just important to like remember that because, like we're all hot, so like why not celebrate it? And I just yeah, I think it's important. And I kind of wrote the song like in the perspective like it's about somebody else,
Yeah,
but really it's just like kind of this love letter to your own self to be like, no, no, like I'm hot, like I got this, like, and just being in love with this best version of you.
that's beautiful. That's a beautiful
Thank
message. I love
thank
that.
you. Thank you.
So Pop Star is the title track from your upcoming EP.
Yes,
When,
yes.
when can we expect it?
Next year for sure. I have a couple more singles that I have planned. And they're like, super crazy. I'm so pumped about them. This project is like I've never been more proud of something in my whole life. Like I am so excited. This is the best music I've ever made in my whole entire life. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to like finally get this out there. Like I've been holding this for so long and I'm like just the chains are loose and it's ready. It's so ready now.
So what can we expect from it? Like, is it similar vibes to Pop Star and like your other recent singles, or
Yes.
what?
Yes, so basically, like, I have a lot of dancey kind of vibes, just like pop star. I have a lot of like, very hip hoppy, like drum sounding. Like, I take a lot, like, I'm, inspired by so many different types of music, and I think that that is like pop in general. Like, this project to me is like, you know, one of the like most pop projects like
Mm,
that I could ever have made, and I'm like so proud of it. And I think, pulling from so many different genres and like just being so eclectic, like I think that's what pop is. And it's just fun to kind of celebrate that and like be like, yeah, there's so many different types of like styles and genres and like tempos and like keys and it's just like all this type of stuff. And it's like crazy, but it's like that's how it's supposed to be, you know?
mm, yeah. I'm actually glad you mentioned that because I know you've been like making music for the longest time.
Yeah.
So could you like walk me through your evolution on like how you ended up to where you are today and your like extreme pop sound from like what you started with?
Yeah, sure. No, yeah, I know. So, yeah, I've been like, obviously singing ever since I was like zero. Always singing, always making music. It doesn't even matter. Like always doing everything music. And so, I started to get a little older, and I would like post on YouTube. I do cover after cover after cover, and like America's Got Talent reached out, and then I was on that show, and I was doing, a bunch of kind of ballady songs on that show, and I was always making like pop songs and always. I've always been making pop has been like my genre ever since I was super little. And so, it was like super important to me that like on that show, like I was like, I want to show my music and like what I can do as like a writer, producer, whatever. And so, I did a lot of my original songs on that show. It was kind of my start. And I've always been in the pop realm, but a lot of my songs back then were kind of more ballady. And which I still tend to write a lot about, but I am so infatuated with just like pop and dance, and I have been leaning towards that more because that's the music I've always gravitated towards. I've always made that, like whether people have heard it or not, I've always been doing that behind closed doors. I love pop music, and so I just am such a big fan. And this project for me is just that. It's just an ode to pop. It's like, you know what? I've been wanting to do this my whole life, and I'm just gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned obviously you are on America's Got Talent and you did a lot of your original stuff. I remember like watching your performances and something I was really impressed by was your songwriting because like you were like high school age at the time and there was like a real like depth to the lyricism that I noticed. So I wanted to ask, what does your songwriting process look like?
Yeah, it's honestly, it changes every time. I never have a strict, like, you know, way of doing it. Like, I always am making up random things. Like I literally like sometimes I'll go to the studio and I'll have an idea with me, or sometimes I'm like, let's make the beat right here and then I'll figure out an idea. Like it just changes every time and I like never, put restraints on myself in that way where I'm like, oh, I have to do this first and have to no, if it comes, it comes and when it's good, it's good. And I just kind of like am very open to like any like I'll be humming something like walking down the street and I'm like, oh that's tight. Or like I could be doing the most random things, but like it just kind of comes to me in like waves. Like I just it's so random when it does. So I like, I'm always thinking music and I'm always writing down lyrics. Like if I hear somebody say something cool, I'm like, oh, it's a lyric. I'm gonna write that down. Like I'm always like writing things down. But yeah, it's different every time. Like it's never the same. But I like to pull from like stories that my friends have told me and like type of like I like to write stories about that or like things that I've been through. Like I just kind of pull from everything. Like I'm just like a sponge, like just always absorbing.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite lyric you ever written?
Yeah, you know what's so funny? Like, I think honestly, Popstar might be my favorite song that I've ever done so far. My favorite project, of course. But, you know, one of my favorite lyrics is from Popstar, like, if I had a god, you'd be mine. And that's just like such a crazy, I feel like it's just like an insane concept. And I remember like saying that kind of in the studio, and I was like, is that too crazy? And, my producer's like, no, let's say it. Let's be crazy. Like, we have to be crazy. And I think it's important to just say how you feel. And I think that's how I felt in that moment. And I put it in the song.
That's a good lyric. I noticed that lyric too. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Yeah. No, yeah. It gets your attention for sure.
Yeah. So I know you also like besides saying you play music, you play instruments, you make beats. I wanted to know like what's your favorite part of like the music creation process?
Yeah, honestly, all of it, like every side of it. Like I've been making beats since I was super young, just like on my, phone, on my like garage band, like just always making beats, always like since I was little, and that kind of just like, transformed into like me learning how to produce. And like, I produced one of my tracks that's out right now called Polite, and that was like one of my first tracks that I like produced myself. And I'd always kind of been like insecure about it because I just was very like, like I would show like all my music friends, I'd be like, yeah, yeah, like oh, like I did this song. They're like, oh, who produced it? I was like, me. And they'd be like, what? Like, you gotta put that out. Like, I would always be kind of insecure. And like, I've found this like drive and this like sense of, no, no, wait, like, this is filthy and I need to put it out. And I'm proud of it. And I think it took me a minute to get there because I was always very concerned, like, oh, am I doing this right? Or like, do I know what I'm doing? Because there's so many things I still don't know. And I feel like I'm always gonna be in this point where like, I'm just constantly learning and constantly growing. I'm never gonna get to a part of my life where I'm like, okay, I know everything now. So I just am so open to like learning and like just getting better because that's what's gonna happen is I'll just keep getting better and it's just only up from here. But I love, like writing is another thing too. Like I think that's a whole nother side. I
Mm,
think producing and writing like are they're very similar, but they're so different types of the brain and two different types of thinking too. And they both play an amazing role. So I that's why I think I do it all because I love it so much. Like I just want to be parts of all type of producing, singing it, like writing for people. Like that's just been such a big thing for me too. And like that's something I continue to do as well.
mm. So you said Pop Star is your favorite song you've ever made. Now you got me thinking, do you have like a favorite song ever, like by anyone?
Oh, it changes like every day. Like I just like every day it changes. Right now, honestly, like I know this is like the prime right now, but like 360 by Charlie
Oh
XCX
my
is
God.
like one of my favorite songs on earth, like ever. Like I'll never forget the first time I heard it. I was like, this is crazy. But I love Charlie. Like another one of my favorite artists is Doja Cat. I love Kim Petras, who's like my favorite artist. Obviously, like I think I've talked about this, but like Lady Gaga's my hero.
Mhm.
Like I owe her everything. Like she's everything to me ever since I was little. I've, been obsessed with her. But yeah, it changes every day, but I would say I'm loving Charlie right now. I love Lady Gaga's new song. Um, but there's kind of like there's not like a really a genre of music that I don't listen to. I like a lot of different things. But I would have to go with like Brat as like my favorite album like right now for sure.
Oh my gosh.
For sure.
Yeah. Honestly, now that you've said that, you honestly give me Charlie vibes, which is like the
Oh my God, well thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's a huge compliment.
So tell me, what has been your favorite memory or accomplishment in your music career so far?
Gosh, I mean, oh my gosh, I probably would have to say, just a highlight that's off the top of my head right now. I think when I got to perform with Osuna on, America's Got
Oh my
Talent, that
gosh,
was
I just watched.
crazy.
I've literally.
Yeah, that was one of the most surreal moments of my life. Like I just remember, them asking me like, "Hey, like who's somebody that you want to perform with?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I like love Osuna right now. Like I've been singing his songs, like I'm such a big fan." And they're like, "Okay." And then I remember like the next day they came to me like, "So he's down." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "You're tripping." And so he was down and so we like rehearsed it and, he was so nice and that was such a fun moment for me. Like I have been such a big fan of him and like I was just in awe the whole time. It was insane.
Oh my gosh, I literally like watched that the other because I went and like was rewatching your America's Got Talent stuff, obviously,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh my gosh, he speaks Spanish.
No, and that's the thing is like I don't, and that's the crazy thing is I don't speak Spanish. I would love to, and like I want, like I always, I'm singing in Spanish all the time. I just have no idea what I'm saying. But I like my family's Mexican, and I grew up around like Spanish music my whole life. And Selena Quintanilla is one of my favorite artists of all time. I'm such a big fan of hers, and I grew up, singing all her songs before I could even really even speak English. Like I was just singing her songs. But yeah, no, like I just think that that's like what's so cool about music is like you don't even have to know what people are saying and it just speaks to you. And that's what's so fun. And I was like such a big fan of like reggaeton and I like just was a huge Osuna fan and he was just on the top of my playlist all the time. And so when I like suggested it, they're like, sure, cool. And they hit him up and he was down. I was like, no way that happened. But yeah, I'm grateful for that moment for sure.
So obviously, we've been talking about America's Got Talent. You were also on The Voice, like Kid
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
I'm like really unique that like you did like a few national broadcast shows. So I wanted to ask, like, what would you say like has been like the most impactful lesson that you gained from like being on those competition
Yeah.
shows?
I think honestly, what's funny is it's like I was 13 when I was on The Voice, and like 14 on America's Got Talent. I was super young. And I think being so young, like I was kind of like I wouldn't say like, like naive, but I just was like in it for like I had no worries in the world. I was like, I'm gonna come here and sing and that's it. Like I wasn't thinking about what other people were thinking. And I started to get older and I would do that more and it just lost like this, I just would get confused and it would be bad. But like I remember being so young and being like, no, like this is what I want to do. And like I remember just knowing like, let me just be myself and like I'm gonna keep doing that and wherever it takes me, it takes me. But like that's the most important thing I would say to like anybody in any type of field. It doesn't even matter. Like you just have to be yourself, period. Because not only are you gonna like affect the people around you, but you're just gonna like affect it for yourself and just make it worse for yourself and the people around you. You have to be yourself. It's that simple. Like it's like, like it's really that simple. You just have to be yourself. And that's the one thing I think I've continued to do. And I'm really glad that I haven't like, lost that. So I am very proud and I think being so young, I was just like, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it, and I think that that's like the coolest part. But yeah, I would definitely say, yeah, you got to be yourself, dude. You have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you made the decision like really young, like as you were saying, that you wanted to pursue music. So
Yeah,
yeah, I wanted to ask like, have you ever like making that decision like when you were like 8 years old? Have you ever questioned that like since you started, or
yeah.
has it been very like?
No, what's so funny is it's like I definitely like, there's so many times where I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? And then there's other times where I'm like, wait, I killed this. Like I absolutely ate down and I'm like so proud of it. And like it comes in waves. And I think that that goes with most things, but it comes in waves. But I would say like, obviously, yes, I've definitely questioned it before, but like, but that's normal. And I feel like everybody does that. But I also think it's different too. Like when you have people who actually do like your stuff too. Because that was another thing too. I remember like being so nervous. It's like, oh my God, are people gonna like what I'm doing? Like, I don't even know. And then people did, and I found out that people resonate with it, and it was just really inspiring. And I was like, okay, wait, maybe I can do this. And so I am just inspired by people every day who love my music, and I'm, grateful for it as well. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's a funny question.
Yeah, like being in the industry like from like a young age, like what has been the biggest challenge for you like in your journey?
Yeah, I think honestly, biggest challenge. Yeah, I think that's a good question. I would say a lot of the times I remember when I was like younger, um, I just think I was just afraid to say things or like speak up, and it's like I'd be like, oh, maybe we should try this, or maybe we should, like, I feel like I was very like an okay person. Like I'd be like, okay, whatever you think, like let's do it. And I was like, you know, afraid to like have my own voice and be like, no, no, maybe let's do this or let's try this. Um, but I think, as you get older and you discover and you learn more about yourself and um, you trust yourself more, I think you start to realize, no, 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 like I do know what I'm doing, and I just have to own it and just know it. And I think that that's important, as like in any field, like I said before, but I just think for music specifically, like if you aren't doing like what you would do, then it's not going to work. And there has been times like that. There's been times where I've been like doing something necessarily maybe I didn't want to do, or I didn't want to sing, or I didn't want to do this, and it's always been fun for me, but it's just always been that voice in my back. Maybe I need to try this. But that's why pop star is so important to me, because it is literally exactly what I want. And I'm so grateful that like I have that opportunity, and the people around me, like my producers, writers, like everybody who is in this project with me, like my photographer Ernie, like I just am so grateful for everybody, like who, from the visuals to, sonics and like just everything about the project. It's so important that it was like done right. And I am grateful for like, my team, my manager, like I'm grateful for everybody, and they have my back and I have theirs. And it's just important to find that too, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. So, my final question is, what should fans be looking out from you in the near future?
Yes, look out for the next singles coming from Popstar. Look out for Popstar, and it's literally gonna be an insane. Like I am so like you guys are gonna be so gagged when you hear these songs. I'm telling you, they're crazy. Like it's the best songs I've ever made, and I'm so proud of them, and I'm so grateful, and I'm so excited. Like you guys are gonna be so gagged. I'm so excited. You guys are gonna freak out. But thank you so much for having me, and it was so nice talking with you.
Nice talking to you. I'll definitely be looking out for that. And yeah, I wish
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, you guys get ready because it's happening.
you amazing. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, you guys. Bye.